Hi, my name's Alana McCullough, and I'm going to be sharing with you my interview synthesis presentation. So throughout this project, which I really enjoyed, I learned a lot throughout the interview process, and I learned about the importance of communicating with families about their children. I'm currently a special education teacher for 4th grade, and this is my 4th year teaching, so I've kind of known already that it's very important to collaborate with families and to make sure that you're all on the same page, which will best support the student. I also learned about the importance in having positive relationships with family, really reaching out and helping them in areas that they need and where they're struggling to accept the fact that their child has a disability, just really supporting them in any ways that you possibly can. I also learned about the importance of peer support with individuals with EDSE. The particular student that I decided to do my project on and my paper on was a 5th grade student, and he currently is in an inclusive classroom. And it's just very important that the peers can support him with his needs and that they have a really solid understanding of what exactly autism is so that they're not alarmed by any of the behaviors or the way that he might react to certain situations. Also, I learned about the importance to provide social instruction in school, not only in academics, but this is especially important for students with high functioning autism. So in school, I feel like we focus a lot on the academics, but there's also those areas of social interactions and behaviors that really need to be focused on as well. So not only incorporating the academics, but whether that's providing social groups or other types of curriculum, lunch bunch, things like that, that can support the students in those needs, I feel like is super important. If I were to do this project again, and if there were some things that I had to do differently, I think I would pick a family that I didn't already know and have a positive relationship with. The student that I did pick was a student that I had last year. So I've already worked with him and I knew his family very well. So me getting an interview with them was very easy, and with his current special education teacher. But I felt like that kind of really made it a little bit easier for me, being that I already knew the student and the family. I would also think that maybe the next time I would interview a student and a family from high school, because since I do work in elementary school, I feel like I kind of already know the routines, the IEPs and everything like that, and how their day goes. But I feel like with interviewing possibly a student from high school, it might be different to see what it's like in higher education and what their day is like and how they deal with transitions and having different teachers throughout the day. I think that would be very interesting to see. I also would set up interviews over a month in advance from the due date of the assignment. I was pretty proactive on that, but I think even extending it a little further in advance and getting that, because it does take up a lot of time, and it's so hard with everyone's schedules to really schedule it where it works for everyone. In addition to interviewing the special education teacher, I would have also interviewed the general education teacher to get their perspective. I feel like it's very important, since the general education teacher is also co-teaching the student, to really see, what are they noticing in the classroom and how are they seeing that this student is performing. So I think in addition to also doing the special education teacher, which is so important, I would have also interviewed the general education teacher as well. And lastly, some of my takeaways from this, really just the importance of collaboration with parents, with the student, with other teachers, and just always remembering that collaboration is key and everyone needs to work together so that it meets the best needs of the students. The amount of information that you can learn by conducting an interview, I just feel like it's so important, and that was why I was so happy that I chose to interview the student, because you really want to see what they feel like they're doing well in school and areas that they're struggling with. So conducting that interview is just great, and you get to learn so much that I feel like you can't read about. You need to be with the person and hear their perspective. Also, I learned about the importance of supporting all students, including the academically and socially and behaviorally. Again, not just teaching academics in school, but also supporting them in those areas that, as we know, most students with autism really struggle with, those social interactions and their behaviors as well. So really supporting them in those areas. And lastly, I think it's so important to have other students in the classroom know about autism so that they can support their peers. There's a lot of great books and movies that really talk about autism, and they give a appropriate perspective on it. But I think it's so important to have those other students know and understand like what is happening, if the student is getting upset or having a meltdown, like why are they having that, and just really teaching them about it and understanding so that they're able to accept that student for who he or she is, I think is so important. So yet again, I really enjoyed this project, and I'm glad I got to share with you my thoughts and my opinions about it. Thanks so much.